I think you and I can both agree that the biggest trope in horror is easily the characters being absolutely brain dead stupid. But that's easy to say when we're sat at home with Cheeto dust on our laps watching mainstream horror. How would you and I do against the most vicious horror creatures in the darkest corners of the horrorverse? This zombie has the ability to shoot a gun, and this Japanese urban legend can wear the skin of your mother. So that got me thinking, could I actually do any better against the most vile monsters under stress and fear? Would you do any better? Could you think straight if you were getting chased by Ratma? Would you be so devoid of making mistakes after witnessing your mother getting slaughtered by Kuchisake Onna, who is low-key tall enough to be in the WNBA? As I am unemployed, I have scoured the cinematic horrorverse to find you 6 movies I promise you have zero chance surviving, and I challenge you in the comments to tell me why you think otherwise. And the last one isn't even a monster, ghost or demon, yet it is easily one of the most disturbing movies people have said they've ever watched. Let's start with something simple, zombies. Yeah, you're probably thinking, great, this is the 100th zombie movie I've watched. By now I easily know how to stop them, just give us food, supplies and weapons and we're good to go. Boy, how wrong you are. I was just like you, happy, ignorant, and then I watched the sadness. You think the zombies from World War Z, The Last of Us or 28 Days Later are bad? Just wait till you hear about this. They make others look like My Little Pony, and I promise you viewer discretion is advised. Firstly, the Alvin virus is highly contagious, spreading through bodily fluids and airborne transmission. It targets the brain's limbic system, so these zombies aren't even undead. Here's the kicker though. It strips away morality and unleashes violent, sadistic impulses. It just so happens to be that the citizens in this movie all have very SA-related and grapey impulses. You see what I'm getting at? And because they aren't brain-dead corpses, these zombies are highly intelligent, capable of thinking, remembering, even speaking and using weapons such as a gun accurately. They will projectile vomit all over your wounds to infect you and even gang up on individuals as a team. Still think you have a chance? The infected in this movie are driven by dopamine. They only get satisfaction from torturing you viciously, savouring every moment. The psychological torment would be so bad your survival instincts wouldn't know what to do. We see them bash someone's nuts into a pole, pour boiling oil on someone's face, eat babies in front of their parents, and yes, grape someone's eye socket. Still watching this video? I don't even blame you if you click off, but you're not allowed to leave until you hit that subscribe button. And for the rest of you sticking around, we both suffer the same curse of curiosity. So yeah, also hit that subscribe button, but do stick around. Trust me, it gets better. Even if you survived the first hour, would you be able to continue after seeing your parents and loved ones being tortured? Would you be able to function anymore? The virus rewires you so that mutilation and violence feels as good as winning the lottery or acing that exam. You're not just a brain-chasing corpse, you're a slot machine addict, and the jackpot happens to be brutality. Even the doctor at the end explains that there's no stopping it. The virus rewires pleasure centers permanently. Right, so you think getting Taiwanese sausage in your eye socket is bad? Just wait until you see what our next monster will do to you. And I'm talking about the cannibal tribe from Green Inferno. At least with the last one, you get to die in your hometown surrounded by your loved ones, but in Green Inferno, your geographical location has already doomed you. You're in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, no cell service, no GPS, no Uber to bail you out. Your broke ass got lost at Walmart last week. What makes you think you're surviving the deadliest ecosystem on Earth? Fun fact, the Amazon houses 2.5 million species of insects. You won't even make it to the tribe before a botfly lays eggs in your eyeballs. And this is assuming you survived the plane crash at the start. No gear, no food, no weapons, just cargo shorts and Save the Trees t-shirts. And who are you going up against? A tribe that has lived here for generations and knows every corner of the terrain. Every hiding spot, every crevice, they have their eyes everywhere amongst the trees and on the ground, so good luck spotting them. This is their home court advantage. And the psychological aspect of it? You've just witnessed your friends decapitated on a plane crash, and the ones who survived just got turned into culinary art. Right after you get captured by the tribe, the first dude gets his limbs, eyes and tongue chopped up by Prime Gordon Ramsay. As for the women, they also get certain parts of their body sliced off, which I am not showing on YouTube, but trust me, they do not discriminate. Let's say you're David Goggins and none of this phases you. You also somehow managed to escape. Miracle. Congratulations, you are now stuck in a 6 million square kilometer rainforest where everything is trying to kill you if the hunger, dehydration and malaria doesn't kill you first. You also now get to fight piranhas, anacondas, caimans, bullet ants, poison dart frogs and jaguars in hand-to-hand combat. Ooh, that's quite the nightmare, but at least you get to take in Mother Nature's embrace before you perish, unlike our next monster where the last hours of your life will be in a filthy gutter in Detroit.
Take him to Detroit.
No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that!
Do you know what's worse than any cannibal tribe or creature in the Amazon rainforest? I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. That's right, Master Splinter on methamphetamine. Let's talk about VHS 94 and specifically Ratma and his cult of devoted followers. Ratma is what you get when you cross, well, a rat with a god. A deity worshipped by many people hiding in plain sight on the surface. And before you say just stay out of the sewers, it's just not that simple. His worshippers aren't just mindless cult nutjobs, they infiltrate society, pose as everyday people just like the man Holly interviewed, and when the time is right, they spew black acid gloop at your face which can either melt your face to the bone or turn you into a worshipper. You don't have time to react, and it could be your loved ones or someone you know who is secretly a worshipper. This is a Bird Box situation where it's either join or die, but rather than a bitch ass enemy that hides itself, the Ratma is more than happy to make an appearance. I know, you may be thinking that most of their activities occur beneath the sewers, but think about this. The cult has a supernatural rat creature on their side. What the hell do you have? The power of friendship? It will only be a matter of time before they come up to the surface to wreak havoc like we see at the end. Like I mentioned earlier, they are still functioning humans capable of strategizing and scheming. Not only do we not know whether the rat can even be killed, but his black acid weapon greatly slims down our chances of survival during an encounter. Society wouldn't just collapse slowly, it would rot from within. Governments infiltrated, cities overtaken, and the black sludge spreading like a plague. Well then, a supernatural rat deity backed by hundreds of infected zealots wielding a corrosive substance that doubles as both weapon and conversion tool. That's an unbeatable combo, just like the 20 wings and gravy at KFC. Oh, how beautiful the Colonel's crispy fried chicken with 11 herbs and spices. Alright, be right back, quick KFC break. Our next monster is also one that will smoke your ass because it bends time and reality itself, and I dare you to argue with me. Grave Encounters, a classic haunted house setup. Yeah, laugh it up, but you have never faced a haunted hospital like the one from Grave Encounters, and the reason why will keep you up at night. The setup is simple. You and your friends are ghost hunters, except you want to fake the hauntings for clicks and views. You decide to voluntarily lock yourself in for 12 hours with contingency plans from the outside, but little did you know that the moment you stepped into that asylum, you are already dead. Why, you may ask? Because the unthinkable happens. The front door locks behind you. Actually, you can just break it down. Okay, you do that, then boom, reality bends and the outside world leads you back to the hospital. Well, what about the fire exit? Brick wall. Windows? Brick wall. This asylum isn't just haunted, it's a literal time-bending prison. Night never ends and the morning never arrives. Food rots exponentially and escape is an illusion. The outside world can't contact you. This isn't a find-the-exit scenario, the asylum is a pocket dimension, it's SCP level containment. Once you're inside, your family might as well start printing your face on t-shirts. Think it's bad enough? It wouldn't be a haunted asylum without, well, ghosts. And these ghosts do not f**k about. They drag people screaming into oblivion, they mimic voices and manipulate objects to lure you deeper, they physically attack, strangle and distort reality itself. Even if the ghosts weren't there, you would run out of food, water and sanity. The haunting just accelerates your demise. By the end, our last survivor Lance is gaunt, starving and insane. He eats a raw rat and does manage to discover tunnels beneath the asylum, but they only lead to more terror. At the end of this labyrinth is Casper the Ghost, ready to lobotomize you and add you to his collection. It's checkmate the moment you step in, as no one on the outside can contact or interact with you. You've been transported to a different dimension where time and reality bends against you, and if hunger and starvation doesn't get the better of you, then those nightmare-fueled ghosts will. Now listen, I'm gonna be honest, I have a goal of securing a sponsorship with KFC, so if you could please slap that subscribe button, that would bring me one step closer and I'd appreciate that very much. And if you're still watching this video and thinking, nah, I'm built different, well, let's see how you fare against our next monster who can teleport and take over the body of your mother, and you wouldn't even know it. Let's talk about Carved, the slit-mouthed woman. Imagine this, it's a relaxing cool night in Shibuya. You've just been chilling with the other salarymen pouring down the finest sake after your 22-hour shift, and you're walking home when bang! A tall woman in a trench coat and a face mask holding 15-inch scissors runs up on you and asks, "Am I pretty?" Firstly, bitch, get your ass in the WNBA. You then reply to her with, "Hell nah, you ugly as hell." Now you wake up at a Pop Smoke concert. Let's rewind that. You answer yes, you're pretty, because after a few bottles of sake, anything pretty at this point. She then takes off her mask and asks you again, "Am I pretty?" All while having a slit mouth, which is a few touches of face paint away from taking over Gotham City. You reply yes again and she gives you her scars. If you say no again, she kills you. If you try to run from her, she uses Michael Myers' teleportation. Every damn answer is the wrong answer, and this is just scratching the surface of her abilities. So who is Kuchisake Onna, aka the slit-mouth woman? She's a Japanese urban legend stemming from a curse bestowed upon a mother who used to be abused by her husband. In the movie, however, she's the one throwing hands on her children until one day her son slices her face in defense and unalives her. One of the many OP abilities include being able to take over the bodies of women, specifically mothers. She can hide in plain sight with the only symptom being a cough, and if you killed a Kuchisake Onna, you'd be unaliving your own mother. This is because on death she can transfer her spirit straight onto another person, like whack-a-mole, but there's unlimited moles. In the end, our protagonist followed the steps to end the curse, and the son of Kuchisake Onna finally gets her to reveal her true self and he beheads her. This triggers an earthquake to signal the end of the curse, but guess what? She comes right back and takes over the protagonist Kyoko's body. So let's say you find an instruction manual to end the curse. Clearly doesn't work, and the psychological aspect as well. It could be your own mother that slices you with those machete scissors. Who can you trust if not even your own mother? So unless you have a better idea, the Kuchisake Onna remains unbeaten. This brings us to our final monster, one that breaks every rule you and I know to be true. A lot of people have said that this is one of the most disturbing films they've ever watched, yet there are no ghosts, demons or monsters, and pretty minimal gore compared to the rest. Just pure, unfiltered, unadulterated psychological fear. Let me introduce you to Funny Games. Survival odds less than 0, and after watching this movie you'll never be the same again. Meet Paul and Peter, two polite young men in white polos show up asking to borrow eggs at your vacation home where it's just you, your wife and child. Next thing you know, you're all duct taped, beaten and part of the most nihilistic home invasion ever filmed. But Paul and Peter aren't just intruders, they're self-aware characters. They break the fourth wall winking at the camera, talking to the audience. Paul literally addresses you, the viewer, saying, "You want a real ending, right?" But that's just it, you don't get a normal ending. Every ending bends to their will. And this is all because of that one infamous moment when Anne finally gets the shotgun and blows Peter away. Victory, right? Nope. Paul grabs the TV remote, rewinds the movie itself and prevents Peter's death. That's not just unfair, that is cosmic level trolling. All your planning, scheming and wits, all to be erased by them at the click of a button. You can't fight back against the villain who writes the script that you're in. And don't forget the psychological torment of watching them torture your wife and child. A significant portion of this movie is just slow burn torture for their amusement. Every escape plan gets squashed and you're back to square one. Serial killers usually have a motive: money, revenge, hunger, compulsion. You can maybe negotiate or exploit that, but Paul and Peter, they don't want money, they don't want revenge, or your wife, they only want to torture and kill for the sake of killing. That's it. That's the whole point, there's nothing to bargain with, they're pure narrative sadism. Anyway, after hours of torture and psychological warfare, the villains unalive the family and casually moves on to the neighbour's house to start over again. No last minute police rescue, no Deus Ex Machina, no end credit miracle, just a nihilistic reset button. This isn't your movie, it's theirs. Now after watching all of these, if you still think nah, I would win, feel free to tell me why in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it very much if you slap that subscribe button. And remember, protect your eye sockets.